And we're live. All right. There we go. That's a good one. All right. What's going on, guys? We'll get started soon. How much is Philly getting? Probably a lot. Probably a lot. Yeah. Brandon, what's popping? Purple, Emmanuel, Skull Day. Okay. I don't know if you guys saw the video I posted on Instagram. Did anyone see the last video I posted on Instagram of me just talking to the camera? Say aye. Did anyone see it? Because that's what we're going to talk about right now. Marissa, Morgan, what's cracking? What's going on, Jordan? Aye, okay. Yes, so listen, you know, I would like to use this, but technically the MBM V5 is the updated version of the National Blended Models. It's just a more high definition. It's supposed to be, it's the same kind of model, but it's improved, more high definition, better. Here's what I talked about in my video. Actually, you know, let me let a couple more people get in because this is significant. My day was good. My day was good. How about yours? I'm gonna let a little bit more people get in here. I didn't mean for the period. I didn't even notice it. How much is Philly getting? Maybe 16 to 19 inches. I agree. $10 super chat from Emmanuel. Holy crap. I agree. Sadie. All right, let's discuss. And let me turn the music down a little bit. And I discussed this in my video, but I'm going to discuss it with you guys. Okay, the National Blend of Models. This model you're looking at here that shows all these crazy snow totals. Oh, yeah. Look at the map I'm showing right now. Look at the map I'm showing right now. Let me get back here. $2 super chat from Santino. Legend. I appreciate you. You're too generous as always. Santino, that's one of the... Central New Jersey is probably one of the targets of this storm. So, the National Blend of Models. This is important. Everyone open your ears. And a bunch of you already know this. This is typically the conservative model to look at. The, like... When everything else says you're going to get 20 inches, the National Blend is like, no, we're going to be more realistic. You're not going to get that much because the National Blend takes every single model and not just every single model run, but every single member of every single model. So 50 model runs from the Euro, 25 from the GFS, I think 25 from the Canadian, and so on. 100 runs, we'll say, blends it all together and averages it out. So it's a very safe, conservative model to look at. Why does it usually show a little bit less snow than actually falls? Because it takes a ton of runs. There's always a ton of members that for some reason just don't show snow. There were just the data could have just been messed up. They see a really weird outcome. They blend in all the runs that also don't show any snow, and that is typically overdoes the runs that show a lot of snow, because the highest high end is typically not that crazy from the difference between the low end to the expected. So the National Blend, typically, this model we're looking at right here is typically, or almost always, shows you less snow than you end up getting. And I say that because this currently, 12 hours out from this storm starting, has 18 inches into Philly. This is supposed to be the conservative model that shows you what the lower end of the expected. Has 22 inches into New York City, 24 across Long Island, 24 into Boston, 30 out across the Cape, 20 to 30 through central New Jersey, Delaware, 19 to 20 or 18 to 20 inches, DC, we'll call it 4 to 6 inches, Baltimore, we'll call it 6 to 8 inches. This is look at Connecticut, Look at Rhode Island, 25. This is your let's be safe and not get too crazy model. And look at these totals. Crazy. Really crazy. We have the first blizzard warning. I'm going to get to answering all your guys' questions. Let me just go over this first. We have why didn't I hear that? That was weird. We have the first blizzard warning in New York City in almost a decade, since 2017. Since 2017, the first blizzard warning in New York. We talked about it in the stream earlier today. I said we'll likely have the blizzard warnings push farther west and include New York City. And I think 2 hours later, they did that. Wasn't like it was a hard call. We saw the storm developing. We saw the storm shifting west. It was pretty obvious they were going to do that. I think there's an argument to put Philadelphia in the blizzard warning. And you remember, these are county lines. So don't look at the blizzard warning as literally like this. I would look at the blizzard warning more. I would look at the blizzard warning more like this. Let me actually do this real quick. 1 second. Welcome to the Climate Crew, Bark. I appreciate it. I appreciate the support. I would look at the blizzard warning more like this, right? Like you're not gonna have some sort of sharp cutoff. These are the counties, and sometimes they're like, this part of the county is not gonna be in, and it goes by counties. But if you're in Philly, if you're right over the bridge from Trenton, you're like, okay, we're not in a Levittown. Oh, we're not in a blizzard warning. Levittown, you should treat yourself like you're in a blizzard warning. You should treat yourself like you're in a blizzard warning. It's just how it has to be written drawn because of county lines. Winter storm warnings obviously expanded across Maryland, like we talked about. Real quickly, let's take a look at the satellite. Everything's developing as it should be. Here is our shortwave trough that's going to suck this moisture in from the Gulf, from the southwest. And here is our collapsing, you could call it, well below average cold winter air to Arctic air that's going to be pushing into the back of this. Obviously, we already are starting to get that northwesterly flow. Everything is setting up as it should. And we're going to see an explosion of moisture in here very shortly. And then that's eventually going to work its way up the coast. The latest models, nothing has changed. They're going crazy. I do want to address something here. And again, I'm going to get to your questions in just a second. $2 super chat from Ocean City. I think you could be easily push 20 plus, 20 to 25. But I appreciate the $2 super chat. I'll actually get in a little bit more into the actual snowfall details here in just a second before I go and I get into everyone's questions. I appreciate that. I appreciate the support. Appreciate the super chat. So here we go. 000Z. I just want to show you this real quick, and I want to talk about something and then quickly update on snow totals. We're going to start off as rain. Okay. This is 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. 9 hours from now. I mean, you've got impacts beginning to move in at 2 a.m. 5 hours from now, you're going to see the moisture begin to move into this region. That's going to be your bomb cyclone. It's a real thing. It's going to go through bombogenesis. The pressure is now expected to drop by over 40 millibars. 40 millibars in under a 24-hour span, and under like a 12-hour span, or under an 18-hour span. This is going to have the low pressure strength of a Cat 2 to a Cat 3 hurricane. Now, it doesn't have a warm core like a tropical system. It's not the same thing as a hurricane, but it's going to undergo bombogenesis, which you could compare to rapid intensification. We've all heard that term during hurricane season, rapid intensification. This is the bombogenesis is the rapid intensification, is what rapid intensification to a hurricane. It's that to a snowstorm. Or just a storm in general, but over winter, it's going to be your snowstorm. So rapid intensification for a nor'easter, bombogenesis, bomb cyclone, incredible. We're talking about maybe a 966 millibar storm now. And because of that, we're going to begin to look like a hurricane. Okay? There are a lot of features of this that are going to be very similar to a tropical system, but the main feature, the warm core, there's a lot of things that are very different. Hurricanes, tropical systems pull all their moisture up through the eye, and then they pass, and then it rises, and then it pushes. You have your air pushes out over. So a hurricane is a high pressure with a low pressure in the middle, and it recycles that air above it. This is going to be pulling in cold air and pulling in warm air. That's how this is. They're different. Like I said earlier, same, but different. But there are some similar features here. Yes, we're probably going to have an eye off the coast. It is crazy. Let's get into the timing a little bit better. I want to get to your questions quickly. That's 6 a.m., 8 a.m., 9 a.m., 10 a.m. Okay, this is around 12 in the afternoon tomorrow, maybe 1 p.m. tomorrow. We're still potentially raining across Maryland, central to southern Jersey. We have a lot of snow falling in Pennsylvania, portions of Ohio. I'd watch back here. Someone's going to get a lot more than they expect through Ohio and western Pennsylvania and Michigan. Someone's going to get way more than they bargained for out here. Low. Maybe it ticks west another 10 to 15. 20 to 30 miles, I don't think it's going to happen, Harry. I really appreciate the $5 super chat. Appreciate that. 20, 30 miles, I wouldn't expect. Maybe I wouldn't be surprised if it ticked more 10 miles to the west. But if you're worried about getting more snow and because you're a little bit further out west, I'd watch this. We have another surface low that looks like it may develop up here over the Great Lakes that could pump more snow way west of the system than expected. That's something we'll talk about a little bit later. But here we go. Getting into, all right, now we're midday. When could this all potentially turn to snow? Very quickly, right? We're raining here maybe around 1, 2 in the afternoon tomorrow. And then we get into 5 p.m. tomorrow and we're dumping 1 inch an hour to 2 inch an hour snowfall. Absolute ridiculous conditions out here. We're talking about 50 to 55 plus mile per hour gusts along the coast, maybe as far west as Baltimore, Philadelphia. We'll see. Probably a little bit east of Baltimore, but Philly could definitely get in that. A little bit of sleet here on the front end. People are worried we're just going to get all sleet here. It could bring your totals down a tiny bit, but watch as the storm moves further off. This air is going to be rapidly cooling as the snow falls, and you're going to get into that 2.5 inch an hour rate snow. Even if you get sleet on the front end, you're going to get piles and piles and piles of snow on top of that. So I'm not too worried about like southern Jersey having their complete event ruined by sleet. All right, this is now 9 p.m. Now getting up into Long Island, 5 p.m. to 8 p.m., things start to get really intense. Boston, where things start to go downhill around midnight tomorrow night. The probably most intense time. Rhode Island, we're looking at 20 to 25 inches expected. Could be more. Actually insane. Jared, I appreciate the $5 super chat. I appreciate you. Seriously. So here's midnight tomorrow, and this is probably going to be the most intense time for New Jersey right here. Getting late evening tomorrow. Again, we're talking potentially hurricane force gusts up and down New Jersey. We're talking piles and piles and piles of snow. 2 feet plus, I think. Someone in here there's a chance someone in New Jersey ends up with 3 feet of snow. I'll just say it. I wouldn't bet on it, but also if it happens, I'm not going to be like, I can't believe someone got 3 feet of snow in New Jersey. I'm just going to be like, okay, yeah. It was looking like that was a possibility. Now, one thing I want to talk about, and then this moves up, we're snowing all day tomorrow up here through Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts. Long Island, it snows not tomorrow. Long Island snows most of the day on Monday as well. This is all snowing all through the day on Monday. You could be snowing in Philadelphia, Baltimore, central and southern New Jersey, all really into the afternoon as we get into Monday. This is important. I want to talk to you guys about this. There's going to be, and we don't really see it on here. I'm going to come back here, and again, I'm going to get your questions in just a second. We need to talk about this. And I saw someone bring it up online, and it's a good point. A three inch an hour. No, it's super rare to hit that. I mean, not 4 inch, like 4 inch an hour. No, maybe you hit over 2.5, 3 maybe. $5 super chat, Santino. You're ridiculous. I appreciate that. Okay, we need to talk about this. Frontogenesis. It's a little bit complex. What it is when you get a sharp temperature gradient, okay? Let me see if I can get in a little bit closer here. Am I northeast or am I mid-Atlantic? Give me 1 second. Let me go into the mid-Atlantic here. This is actually crazy. I appreciate that. Go Ravens. Frontogenesis. This is important because this is going to make someone get a ton more snow than they're expecting, and someone's going to get a ton less. I want you to watch what's happening with these bands here as this moves in. There may be a pocket, and you can see these little dry air pockets that form. This isn't a dry air injection. This is frontogenesis. You see how we get a little bit of a dry air slot here, maybe a little bit of a dry air slot here. When you get extremely powerful systems like this can happen, and there's some indication on the models that we could see this. We're going to get an extremely steep temperature gradient somewhere in here, up in the atmosphere, and that's going to cause rapid cloud formation, and that's going to cause our air to rush upwards and then be forced downwards and bring the snow to the ground in very, very heavy bands, okay? So extremely, extremely sharp temperature gradients, quick cloud formation, a big dump of snow. But what happens on the other side is, I think it's called frontolysis. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. Frontolysis. I could be wrong. I haven't talked about this in a long time. I remember talking about this when I was in school for meteorology a decade ago. Frontolysis. Look at this section right here. What happens on the right next to frontogenesis is you can get frontolysis, which is where your air is actually starts sinking. Instead of rapidly rising air where you have your frontogenesis, that pulls that rapidly rising air to the west, in this case of that frontogenesis, and it pulls it into that rising air to the east, and it creates sinking air just to the east of the frontogenesis. So in this case, you could have a band that is insanely powerful, insanely like 2-3 inches of snow an hour, like ridiculously heavy snow band, but it could cause sinking air right next to it. And we could see that in multiple spots in the storm. And it's starting to show up on some of the models. And right now, and what that's going to do is that could put a strip, and I'm not even lying, that could put a strip of like 22 to 26 inches here. And then you're not going to have like bad snow, but then you have like 9 to 12 here. That, because this area basically is stealing all of that heavy snowfall because it has the frontogenesis and you're stuck in the frontolysis. So something to watch. This doesn't necessarily happen. This isn't necessarily going to happen. Sometimes the temperature gradient isn't steep enough and you get more of an even blanket. When that happens, though, you're less likely to have your ridiculous 30 plus inches of snow in areas, but everyone could get 20 inches. You know what I mean? It'll be more evenly dispersed snow if we don't have to deal with that. But if you get that, I mean, imagine you get frontogenesis forming over New York City. We're talking about a 30-inch day in New York City. So it's like, what do you want? Do you want the potential for like the serious all-time record-breaking snow, or do you want like a nice blanket, a ridiculous blanket of snow for everyone? Just something to watch out for. All right, I'm going to get to your questions now. Last thing I'm going to show you is just the latest from the National Weather Service. Here you go. So you can see your totals, because I know people are going to ask about this. Yeah, sure. Really quickly, we'll do that. $5 super chat from Nick. I appreciate that, and then I'm gonna go over all your snow totals. Your updated snow totals. So yeah, let's take a look at your temperatures. Let's go. We'll take a look at the HRRR, and we'll go to surface temperatures. You can accumulate snow at like 35 and 36 degrees on the surface, if that's what you're wondering. You can accumulate snow on the surface at 35 or 36 degrees of surface temperature. If it's snowing heavy enough and that snow is melting, if it's snowing heavy enough, the snow starts to accumulate on itself before it melts quick enough. Especially if you have very cold air in the upper atmosphere, aloft. Okay, so here we go. Let's take a look at where our snow is here. That's all rain. That's fine. Here's snow. What are our surface temperatures there? You're saying, well, how are we accumulating snow here? How are we accumulating snow? We're 34 to 37 degrees. Well, the air aloft is going to be well below freezing, and you're going to have heavy snowflakes falling at an extremely rapid pace. And again, it's going to overwhelm the surface temperatures. It's going to overwhelm the surface temperatures. And by the way, after 30 minutes to an hour of heavy freezing precipitation falling, your surface temperatures are just going to clock below freezing. It's going to cool the air quickly. So that's why you can with heavy enough snow, you can accumulate snow on the ground above freezing. You can accumulate snow on the ground at 40 degrees if it's snowing heavy enough, believe it or not. It needs to be snowing very heavy. You need to have really cold air aloft. NTX, Devin, GG, Samuel, I appreciate you guys. Marlon, I appreciate you, B. Dr. Matt, Jasmine. And then you see here, boom. Look, you're 36 degrees. It starts snowing. Why do you get below 32 degrees here? Because it's snowing so rapidly. Watch the temperatures over the next 2 hours. And we're below freezing. That's the cold air being wrapped in, and that's the snowfall. Okay. Let's talk about this, and then let me take your questions. Here you go. Getting into the latest updates from the National Weather Service. Here you go. Let's make sure this is actually fully updated. Oh my gosh. They continue to expand this almost 2 feet of snow to the west. Holy smokes. Philadelphia. Expected 16 inches of snow. High end potential 29 inches. I don't know why they have the low end at a half inch of snow. Someone help 2 inches. I don't know why. I don't know what they're doing. I mean, the low end does weird stuff, but I wouldn't worry about that. Your expected snowfall from the National Weather Service, and I'm fine with these. I'll tell you the areas that I disagree, like I always do. 16 inches in Philly, 29 inch. High end, New York. Let's go into New York here and let's take a look. 17 inches expected, 29 inch high end. As you get off into the south and east, here let's go around central Long Island. 20 inches expected, 33 inches on the high end, almost 3 feet of snow. Yeah, I mean you've got almost 3 feet of snow on the high end for Long Island, but expect it for most of Long Island closer to 20 inches. Tom's River, 35 inches on the high end, 3 feet on the high end. Long Branch, but your expected total is 2 feet. 2 feet. Tom's River, New Jersey. Let's get out towards central New Jersey. Trenton, expected 18 inches, 30 inches on the high end. This is insane. We're going to break records. This is going to be an historic storm. And guess what? Screw the news station. Not actually screw them. They stole my content. We called it, guys. 1996 blockbuster nor'easter, 2006 blockbuster nor'easter, 2016 blockbuster nor'easter, 2006 blockbuster nor'easter. And someone said there were nor'easter other years. Blockbuster nor'easter. I don't care about your nor'easter that drops 10 inches of snow into Philadelphia. I care about the nor'easter that could drop 30 inches of snow across the I-95 corridor. This is going to be very likely a blockbuster nor'easter. One for the record books. Top 5, top 3, top 1. I don't think we get top 1. Top 3 maybe. All time. Baltimore, expected 4 inches, high 20 inches. I still think you get more than that. I still think they're a little bit low for Baltimore. I think you get 7 plus. Washington, D.C., we're looking at more of a 3-inch. Winchester, Virginia, we're getting that in a second. Yeah, I got you in a second. DJ, I appreciate that $2 super chat. I got you in a second. Let me run through this super quickly. Around D.C., again, we're talking 3-inch expected, 16 inches on the high end. I mean, Delaware, 15 inches, 28. Southern Delaware, 10 inches. Northern Delaware, closer to 15 inches. You can see 10 inches low end, 28 inches high end, Southern Delaware. 16 inches, not low end. 10 inches expected. 28 inches high end, Southern Delaware. We get to Northern Delaware. We're talking about 16 inches expected, 28 inches high end. Richmond, they brought your totals up a tiny bit. 1 inch is expected, 6 inches high end. Boston, we're looking at 19 inches expected, 28 inches high end. All of Rhode Island, we're talking about 20 inches expected. Your high end could be 29 inches. It's weird that they don't have, getting out towards the Cape, it brings it down a little bit, but it's just going to be so windy. It's going to be falling apart a little bit out there. All right, Hartford, 14 inches expected, 20 inches on the high end. Bridgeport, 16 inches expected, 26 inches on the high end. Connecticut's looking good. All of Mass is looking good. All of the Hudson Valley is looking good. Northern New Jersey, we're talking about 16 inches expected, 23 inches on the high end. Out to Reading, your totals have gone up. 11 inches expected, 21 inches on the high end. Allentown, 11 inches expected, 19 inches on the high end. Lancaster, 11 inches expected. 7 inches expected, 20 inches on the high end. Insane totals. To put it simply, and I want to answer DJ's question, we're looking at 2 to 2.5 feet here. We're looking at easily 1 to 2 feet in here, maybe even further down. And then we're looking at up to a foot here, maybe 5 inches to a foot. Just like, okay, 2+ feet is possible here. Okay, 1 to 2 feet is possible here. I'm not doing this correctly, but whatever. Up to a foot is possible here. We're talking about insane. I mean, 3 feet. 3 feet is possible, in my opinion, here, if things work out for you. That's what's going on. DJ had a question. Stow totals for Winchester, VA. Let's see if I can find that without going to look it up. There it is. Let's do this. Winchester, Virginia, expected 2 inches, high end of 13, low end of a trace. I'd say your low end should be like an inch or two. Yeah, I would be surprised you guys get 2 to 4 inches. It's going to be hard to get the high end. High end, I would give you guys like 8 inches of snow. But you're like very likely to get some decent accumulating snow from this. All right, now we get into questions. But before that, remember we need to run the intro. Ow. Okay, take it to the bank, cash it. I'm always right. I've never been wrong about anything in my entire life. Christy and I appreciate it. Come true. One dog, I appreciate you.
We look a lot at the moon.
There it is. They look.
I appreciate follow something. Yeah, there you go.
Winter forecast.
we've had 4 or 5.
Bucks County, southern or
storms
northern,
this
16 to 18 inches expected. You guys could get up to 25. Bucks
We'll do it
County's
live.
good.
Get
Tons of snow.
We'll do it live. Daddy needs some coffee.
Bob donated $1,000 and says, Connor, you are the best weatherman. And
Oh,
you're very
thanks, Bob.
tall, smart, and handsome.
All right. Bucks County's going to be great. Yeah. Yep. All right. Let me get into some questions. Now there's a possibility we get even higher totals than anything I've showed you, but I think the best thing, what I want you guys to look at right now, because this is the MBM, and again, it's typically our conservative model. I want you guys to look at the MBM. I want you guys to look at this. Can you guys see that close enough? Let's see. Insane. I think some of the areas here, it's not giving enough snow. All right. What are you thinking are the possibilities for Union County? What do you think are the possibilities for Union County, New Jersey? You got to tell me where that is. Do you think we deal with the thing you were talking about earlier? Like central New Jersey, are we talking about there? Because again, central New Jersey, like this could be the big talk of the storm right here. Long Island, Long Island could as well. And you see what's happening out here along the Cape. But I think this area could be really insane. Welcome to the Climate Crew. Christ like mommy. Welcome to the Climate Crew. Boston, yeah, 20 plus inches. 20 plus inches is possible. I think it's likely you get at least 18. Blizzard warnings to extend into inland into Connecticut. Let's take a look at what's going on right now. They are inland into Connecticut. Are you talking about all the way up to Hartford? Because blizzard warnings did extend up to Waterbury, almost up to New Milford, just to the border of Wyndham. The blizzard warnings extend very close to Hartford, so central to southern Connecticut is basically in a blizzard warning right now. Like I said, New York City has its first blizzard warning in almost 10 years, since 2017. Further north of central New Jersey, it's what are you talking about? The Frontogenesis? We could see that here. I don't know where that's going to be, but regardless, you guys, this region is kind of a lock. I would say this region is just an absolute lock for this storm at this point. That region is just an absolute lock for this storm. Now the areas around it are, I should probably say this region, I'm being safe, but for central Jersey, highest gust of winds, $2 super chat from Santino. Let's take a look at let's take a look at the possible wind gusts here. We'll zoom in a little bit more. We'll take a look at the latest HRRR. The HRRR, this is the national blend. That's why it's showing such a slow wind gust. I was going to say we're going to get higher wind gusts than that. All right, we'll look at the 00Z of the HRRR. Yeah, there we go. I think this is being a little conservative too, although I don't know. There you go. We're seeing 67, 72. There's a hurricane force gust right there. There's a hurricane force gust right there. Hurricane force gust in the middle of a blizzard. So a snowstorm. Obviously, it's blizzard if you have a hurricane force gust. If we get gusts like this here, the blizzard warning should be expanded out further for all of Connecticut, for all of Philadelphia, almost out to Baltimore, right? The HRRR has insane winds. We're talking about this is what I said earlier, where I think we could get 80 plus mile per hour gusts. Well, the HRRR is confirming my thoughts. 78 mile per hour gusts out on Long Island, hurricane force gusts along the Cape. Yeah. There it is. 82 mile per hour gust. 82 mile per hour gust out on Long Island. We're talking about 50 to 60 mile per hour gust through New York City on the HRRR. This is dangerous. This is insane. It's not dangerous if you're at home and you're being smart. Don't go out don't be out driving, doing anything silly, people. Solar $5 super chat. I know. I lived here for the last 2 years, and we got 14 inches total in the 2 years combined. Now you guys are going to get double that from one snowstorm. Appreciate the super chat, Solar. Is Southwest VA getting screwed out of snow again? Well, listen, if you live in Southwestern VA, you don't average a ton of snow in general. So nor'easters typically don't bring a ton of snow to Southern VA, but sometimes they do. you're going to get some snow in the mountains in southwestern VA, the elevation out to the west, but not a ton in southwestern VA in general, unfortunately. Yeah. Why don't you just take a trip up to Philly, get a hotel room? The big issue with southwestern Virginia too is the Appalachian Mountain rains catch a lot of the snow that should be falling on top of you. I appreciate that $2 super chat. Every now and then you get a big one though. Santino $2 super chat. Can it be 70? Yeah, it could be. Yep. Could be. Let's see here. Manahawkin, New Jersey, low ocean county coast. Where's that? I don't know where any of that is. Manahawkin. I don't know where it is. Listen, New Jersey, you're getting tons of snow. Will the high winds enhance or inhibit the dry slot formations? The high winds aren't going to affect dry slotting. It does affect snow accumulation. It blows snow around, but it's not going to affect like where the dry slot sets up or anything. We're not really going to have a dry slot. I think we're going to have that, like I said, frontogenesis setup where you get heavier snow bands because you get sharper temperature gradients that create rapid lift, and then you get rapid sinking air to the west. But then you'll have other bands move through. It's not going to be the worst, but we'll see if that happens. We'll see if we get those really sharp temperature gradients. Can Western Long Island get hurricane force wind gusts? You could get very close, I think. Yeah. I think it's possible. I mean, we were just looking at that. We were seeing up to 65 mile per hour wind gusts. I mean, at that point, you're 9 miles per hour away from hurricane force. So, yeah. Is 3 inches accurate for DC? No. I think you guys end up with a little bit more snow than that. 5 plus, 6 plus. I mean, we'll see. But $5 super chat from Anthony. You think the big cities will get high-end plus? I don't think any. It's going to be hard to get high-end plus. But I think over-expect it. Yeah, we can get into that. Anthony, I appreciate the $5 super chat. OB, I appreciate the $5 super chat. Joshua, I appreciate the $10 super chat. Holy crap. Yes, thank you. And we're going to do a speed round in a second so I can answer everyone's questions. Yeah, let me answer all these questions real quick. Let's see. I think big cities, I expect a lot of these big cities, and I'm talking about, I would say from Philly, New York City, Boston, I think I personally think I wouldn't be surprised if they got over the expected, and they're all expecting like at least 18 inches, 17, 18 inches. I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know about high end. Not impossible with what we're seeing, but I think they're going to get over the expected. Now, Baltimore, DC. Baltimore has a chance. DC is going to be tough. You just get it, your transition into snow is a little bit late, but I do think they're underdoing DC as well. Northern Virginia, specifically Prince William County to DC areas. Okay, so northern. Okay, well, let me look that up. Prince William County. Okay, up there. What are your thoughts? Seen everything? You know what? Let's go back to, are we international blend? Okay, we're international blend right now. I think this is okay to look at. I would say for your area, expect 3 to 5 inches. That's what I would say. What's the National Weather Service have here? Let's take a look really quickly. What's the National Weather Service have in that region? 2 inches expected, 3 inches expected, high end of 10 inches. I'd say expect 3 to 5 inches. There's a world where you get 10 inches of snow. There's a world where you get 10 inches of snow if you want to hold on to that hope. There is, but that's what I would tell you there. Have you heard anything related to the astronomical high tides? If we get those on the coast here in Boston, it would make this even worse. I actually haven't heard that. That's something to look into though, Josh. I really appreciate that. I appreciate the $10 super chat. Appreciate you, Obi. Appreciate you, Anthony. Sussex County, New Jersey. Again, guys, I wouldn't give me counties because then I'm probably going to skip over your question because I have to answer a million questions. I'd try to tell me where you are in the state, central, southern, northern New Jersey, around a city. I feel like I kind of do know where Sussex County. Isn't that right next to New York City, unless I'm wrong? Oh, no, you guys are way north. That's right. Okay. Well, okay. You're north. What do you ask? The snow totals up there? Yeah, I think you guys could push 20 plus. It's possible. I think you'd probably end up with closer to 15 to 18 inches, but you could push 20 plus there. Yeah. The Bronx, I mean, I'll pull up. Let me actually get this pulled up here. I'll have both these up because I want to compare the National Blend to the National Weather Service. The National Weather Service thinks for the Bronx right now, I'll go right in on the Bronx, that you guys are going to get 17 inches of snow, but your high end's around 27 inches. The National Blend puts even more snow into the Bronx, though. The National Blend thinks, 22 plus. Yeah, crazy. Albany, New York. Albany right now, expect it 5 inches, high end 15. It's fine. I don't know about getting 15, but expect it 5. Maybe I'd say high end should be closer to a foot, but who knows? Maybe we'll be surprised up there. Philly has continued to trend up. 16 inches. 16 inches, maybe 17 is expected in Philly. There is a world where Philly gets 30 inches of snow. I am not lying. 10% chance. There just is a world. There's a world where Philly gets 30 inches of snow. I think 20 inches is more realistic on the high end, but there's a world where Philly gets 30 inches of snow. But yeah, expect it 16 to 17 inches. Boston, Massachusetts. You guys are expected to get almost 20 inches of snow with 28 on the high end. 30 gets 1996 level, yeah. I don't know what to do. It's at 1. Wait, Samantha, do you cancel what? I missed that. If you have something at 1 tomorrow in the Mid-Atlantic, you should probably cancel. Well, yeah. It starts to get really bad as we get later into the afternoon. $5 super chat from Joey. Appreciate that. Local weather apps are all over the place. What do you think for the Lehigh Valley? Let's compare at this point. We're 8 hours away from snowfall. Probably less. I'm just making up a number. I know we're going to start snowing in some areas up here in the morning. Let's compare our National Weather Service to our National Blend. These are our best two things, all members combined. This is the MBM version 5, the new one, the high def one. It's better with snow ratios. We have the National Weather Service's opinion too. Lehigh Valley. Let's talk about it. We're going to say 10 inches expected, 18 inches on the high end. The National Blend up through the Lehigh Valley likes that range too, I think, from what I can see. Yeah. Why does this... Why every time I switch scenes? Tom's River, New Jersey. That's... Tom's River... I don't know if you're going to get as much snow as everyone. Your expected is only 2 feet of snow, and your high end is only about 3 feet of snow. So, not much for Tom's River. I'd honestly say it's a good day to head out to the beach, do a little swimming. It's 2 feet expected, at 3 feet on the high end. I'd try to see if you can. I'd probably try to get a reservation at the beach because it's going to be slammed. I'd call now, see if there's anything available. How much snow do you think Long Island will actually get? I think it's not. I think an 18 plus inches across the board is a realistic possibility, with sections getting over 22 inches of snow. Yeah, Connor, lock in. I'm locked in. South Jersey's a pretty good area to be. Pretty good area to be. Atlantic City, 10 inches expected. Yeah. The B word, $2 for Santino. I appreciate you. Atlantic City's high end is almost 3 feet of snow. Can you imagine 3 feet of snow in Atlantic City? But your expected is closer to a foot. Where's Cherry Hill? Help me out here. Help me out. That's near Philly, isn't it? I mean, I lived in Philly. I feel like I heard that a lot. That's in New Jersey. Oh, it is. Oh, yeah. Did I go to like there's an aquarium in Camden. Yeah, Cherry Hill. I mean, we've been talking about that area, but Cherry Hill, let's take a look. What could we see out there? 18 inches expected. 1.5 feet of snow is expected with 30 inches on the high end. Luca, $2 super chat. News says Philly gets 8 to 12, but NWS says 4 to 18. Philly only gets 8 inches of snow, I will sell all of my computer equipment. How's that? I would be shocked if Philly doesn't clear a foot of snow. Shocked. Shocked. I've been shocked before. Maybe I'll be shocked again. I'd be shocked. I'd be shocked if Philly doesn't clear a foot of snow. Local news is always... The problem is there's a lot of... I don't want to be mean. There's a lot of silly people out there. We're going to call them silly. Who, if a meteorologist gets a forecast wrong, rages and says weather people know nothing and they're stupid, and they like attack the meteorologists and they make fun of them online and they troll them. And so what's happened over the years is, and I noticed this everywhere I've ever lived, local meteorologists will always underestimate snow totals because they just don't feel like getting attacked for saying what they actually think could happen. It's just the truth. It's 1,000% the truth. Local meteorologists will always tell you less than what they actually think, what their brain, who actually went to school, thinks, because of the trolls and the silly people. It is what it is. There's a lot of silly people on this planet Earth who think that it's easy to predict the temperature, pressure, and moisture profile of the atmosphere in the future. People think that that's easy. So, yeah, if your local news says 8 to 12 inches, what they're trying to tell you is 10 to 14 or 12 to 16. All right, $2 super chat from Sean. Thoughts for Franklin, Massachusetts. Again, I don't know where Franklin, Massachusetts is. Is it near something? If you're near Boston, I'm going to freak out at you. I'm just kidding. Can you give me like the portion of the state it's in? 40 miles west of Boston, near Springfield. Help me out. Okay, I'm gonna look it up. Because I'm in a good mood. Franklin. All right. Fine. Northeastern Rhode Island. That's what we're going to call it. You guys aren't going to be, you guys are going to be somewhat similar to Boston. Let's take a look. Almost 20 inches expected for that area, with 3 feet being your high-end possibility. Yeah, near Rhode Island. Dang it. No, I got you. Listen, I'm just messing with you. Yeah, no problem. 3 feet. That's an insane high end. Like I said, people are gonna hit their high end out here. Not everyone. And what's Boston's high end? Boston's 28. I'm surprised. Oh, this is 20. That's pretty incredible. 20 inches expected, 3 feet high end. All right. 20 miles west of New York City. 17 inches expected. We'll call it out here. 17 inches. We'll call it out here. 17 inches expected. 27 inches on the high end. Pretty crazy. New GFS. People are asking me to look at the new GFS. We'll look at the new GFS quick. Sure. And then we're going to do an actual super speed round. I'm going to answer questions even much quicker than I have been. I've been trying to answer them quick, but we're going to answer them even quicker. Let's take a look at the latest GFS, because we do have a ton of people in here, and I appreciate all of you being here. Appreciate all the members. Anyone who donated, gifted, of course. My mods for being in here. You guys just being in the stream. It's awesome. I love doing this. Cheeto, Vicky, Yali. But yeah, I feel like I haven't seen you in a while. What's going on? Latest GFS is coming out. We're going to do this, and then we're going to go into a speed round. I need to turn up my jams a little bit because I'm just in the mood. It's a Saturday night. Sorry. All right. Actually, and we're going to start from the top because I like this song up here. All right. Here we go. Wait, what is this? Okay, we're on the right screen. Latest GFS is loading in. How many hours are we loaded in right now? All right, we'll quickly take a look. Again, I don't really care about the GFS at this time frame, but we'll look anyways. We'll compare from the last run. Here we go. What happened? Not much. If you really want my, it's like, well, the low is a little bit high. I mean, a slight weakening, but almost insignificant. 974, 976. I wouldn't really call that significant. It actually looks like heavier snowfall for Philly and for New Jersey. It also looks like heavier, maybe minorly lighter for Long Island. There's pretty similar. The GFS, this is at this time frame, this is pretty similar. Maybe a little bit more for central to southern Jersey and Philly. Not much of a difference. All right, let's get into the speed round. Okay? Let's get into the speed round. Let's do this. Get your questions ready. Remember, if you live in a town, a small city or county or town that you don't think I'll know, just try to give me the best area. Like right, if you live like up here, right, in a small town in western Massachusetts here, just say West Central Massachusetts. You know what I mean? Because guess what? When forecasting right now, the difference between living here and here isn't going to be a major difference. Not going to be a major difference. Now, if you live like here or here, it could be a little different. But try to just give me the best area you can be. If you live in a big city, somewhat moderately large city, I know a lot of cities up and down here. I lived in the Mid-Atlantic, but you know what I mean? Just trying to help you guys out because I'm going to try to go quick. All right? And what I'm going to do, if you guys ask about snow totals, and I'll answer questions that aren't snow totals, but I'm also going to compare the NWS to the latest national blend too, because I think it's a good idea. And I have my own opinions, obviously, about I agree with a lot of this at this point, national blend, NWS model, but I do think Maryland, Virginia, we could have slightly different totals. All right. Let's do it. Speed round.
Speed round initiated.
DC, the latest. National Blend likes 4 to 5 inches in there. The National Weather Service likes less, likes about 3 inches. I'm on the National Blend side. I think it 4 to 6 inches more in that range, a little bit more. I think it's possible. Yes, 100 million, 1,000%. Queens, you guys are looking good up here. Right now, National Weather Service thinks 18 inches, a foot and a half of snow, and almost 30 inches of snow is possible. The National Blend is agreeing, but the National Blend gives you a little bit more. Let's say your high end, expected 18 to 20 inches. I'm perfectly fine with that. I think it's good. Usually our models, National Blend with NWS is pretty good at this range. Northeastern Maryland, over a foot of snow. Yes, we can do it. I think on the low end, you maybe end up with 7 or 8 inches because you have a little issue with surface air. But if you're at, really my opinion, I don't think, if I had to make a bet to get the closest possible, I would say it's closer to 10 to 12 inches. Right now, you're expected 10 inches, Northeastern Maryland. Northeast, there's literally a city called Northeast Maryland, and 2 feet on the high end. 2 feet on the high end. That's a high end for that area, but you know what I mean? Whatever. Maybe. Central Long Island, snow totals. Again, I think 18 plus inches for all of Central Long Island is realistic. I do think it is. Now, Central Long Island right now, if you want what the National Weather Service thinks, 20 inches, expect it. 33 inches high end, almost 3 feet of snow on the high end. The National Blend likes about 24 inches across Long Island. Right now, to be safe, I'm going to tell you 18 inches. Don't be surprised if you get 2 feet of snow on Long Island. Anywhere on Long Island. I don't care where you live on Long Island. York, PA. Not sure where York, PA is. I feel like I've seen it before. I know where it is, but again, I'm trying to go really quick here. And I got to move on. All right. Fairfield County, Connecticut. I don't know where Fairfield County, Connecticut is, but most of Connecticut, again, expected anywhere between 12 to 16 inches. You're going to see areas there that probably do receive 2 feet of snow. Scranton, PA. Scranton, PA, right now we're talking about from the National Weather Service. 7 inches expected with 15 inches on the high end. It's going to be a tough one. I think it's going to be tough. I could definitely see you getting 7 inches. I'll give you 6 to 9 inches in Scranton, PA, in my opinion. The National Blend, though, is being very nice to Scranton up here. Really thinking we could be pushing a foot plus. If you want to hold on some hope, the National Blend is a good average of all the models. It's a good one to look at, and it's usually conservative. York, is Central PA. Is that what you're talking about? Okay, I got to move on. Weymouth, Massachusetts. Don't know where that is. Again, try to give me the region so I can answer questions quickly. If I don't know exactly where it is, it needs to be a region or give me the distance from a major city. I don't think a lot of people are getting that. Philly. Guys, when I'm doing a speed round, I have to answer questions as quick as I can. You giving me counties I've never heard of or cities I've never heard of, I can't answer them, and I want to answer them. Okay. Hold up. $5 super chat from Joey. I appreciate you. Do you think there is still a possibility of 2 feet in the Lehigh Valley? Yes, and you can see that on the high ends. The high ends do call for close to 2 feet in the Lehigh Valley, 19 to 20 inches. Yes, super high end, but yes, there is the potential still for 2 inches. I think more 1.5 feet should be the high end, but 2 feet technically still a possibility. Annapolis, that's somewhere in Maryland, I think, right? Okay, totals. Baltimore, Maryland, we're talking about 4 inches. Expected, again, I think your expected should be closer to 5 to 7, maybe 6 to 9, and your high end is 20 inches. I'll look up Annapolis. Again, I know where a lot of these places are, but if I'm moving quickly, I'm pretty sure that's Maryland, but maybe I'm wrong. It is Maryland. Okay. Yeah. See, like in this case, I mean, I would have said just like 30 miles south of Baltimore, whatever. Annapolis. Let's take a look there. Are you 30? How far south are you of Baltimore, actually? Annapolis. 5 inches expected. I'd push that up a little bit. 7 inches, 2 feet on the high end. It's possible. I'd put your high end closer to 1.5 feet. North Wilmington, Delaware. Yeah, no, Wilmington. Right now, you're expected is 16 inches, 28 inches on the high end. 28 inches on the high end. Pretty crazy. Howell, New Jersey, in Mammoth County. Not sure where that is, but New Jersey, you're getting tons of snow. $2 super chat. 30-inch high end, Long Island. Yeah, there's an area in Long Island that has almost 3 feet on the high end. Again, I think Long Island's 18 plus is. I almost want to say 18 plus is a lock on Long Island. I'm not going to say it yet, but someone could end up with. I say the max we get. I'm gonna say right now that like someone ends up with like 27.3 inches on Long Island. Right there, I'm just gonna throw a random number out there. 13 miles west of New York City. Let's take a look out there. All right. 17 inches expected, 27 inches on the high end. Guys, if you name cities and towns that I don't know right now, I'm going to skip over them unless you tell me what area of the state it's in or how far it is from a city. But as soon as I finish this round, I'm going to go and I'm going to answer those questions. All right. I'll go back and answer those questions because I will look up cities. But right now I'm trying to answer as many questions as I can. Southeastern Virginia. Yeah, not much expected down there, unfortunately. A dusting, maybe a couple inches on the high end if you get a little bit lucky with some snow drifts down there. Dead Central PA State College. Yeah, I know where State College is. Nice. All right, 4 inches is expected with 9 inches on the high end. Interesting. Again, I actually think that there's a chance for a little bit more snow out here to the west. I talked about it earlier. I think a surface low is going to form, or I think our surface low is going to be a little bit more intense than projected. So for that fact, the National Weather Service says 4 inches expected in State College. I'll say 5 to 6 inches expected. And they say 9-inch high end. I'm going to say 10 to 12 inches high end. All right. Central New York. Okay. What are we talking? Syracuse, Utica. What do we have out here? 4 inches expected. 8 inches high end. Yeah, that's fine. I maybe 5 inches expected, 9 inches high end. Poconos, up and down. Poconos isn't looking too bad. We're looking at between 9 inches to a foot, but you could get a high end of, I'd say 16 to 17 inches across the Poconos. Hudson Valley, 20 miles north of New York City. Hudson Valley. Hudson Valley's looking good. It's been looking good the whole time. Expected is over a foot of snow. Your high end is over 2 feet. Right now, if we're talking about Middletown, 11 inches expected, 21 inches on the high end. If we're talking about near Newburgh, we're talking about 13 inches expected, 25 inches on the high end. Getting even further south into the Hudson Valley, 15 inches expected, 23 inches, almost 2 feet on the high end. Not too bad. Delmarva Peninsula. Wait, are we talking about out here? Hold up 1 second. Are we talking about like this area? All right, that's what I'm going to assume. Hold up. Easily, okay, 15 inches expected. 15 inches expected, about 2 feet on the high end. I think that's fine. Yeah, I think that's fine. We are going to get some more model updates right now, guys, which is big. Rockville, Maryland. I know where Rockville, Maryland is, and I shouldn't have to skip this. Where the heck is Rockville? I'm actually going to look this up because this is going to bother me. Okay, yeah, Rockville, Maryland. All right, yeah, you're just in. I'm shocked you're not in a winter storm warning. I mean, yeah, you're right on the border of it. You probably should be in a winter storm warning. Rockville, Maryland. The latest you can see on the national blend. It's being kind of nice to you. 7-8 inches on the national blend, but you take a look at the National Weather Service. They're giving you 3 inches expected, 14 inches on the high end. Again, I'll put your totals up a little bit, 5 to 7 inches there. Expect it. You could get a foot on the high end. Sean, Melissa, Christine, I appreciate you guys. $2 super chat from Tommy. Springfield, PA. That's also, I also know where Springfield, PA is, but apparently my brain's not working. All right, Springfield, PA. Yeah, there's also a Springfield. Anytime I look up Springfield, there's a Springfield in every single state in the entire country. All right, Springfield, PA. Okay, so Philadelphia. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so what you meant to say was Philadelphia. I got you. Right now, there's not going to be a difference between Springfield and Philly. Nothing that can be forecast. It's just too close. 16 inches expected, 30 inches on the high end. Again, I know someone said the local news in Philly is talking about 8 to 12 inches into Philly, and I think that's just a blatant under expectation. You're good. I'd be shocked if you got less than a foot of snow. Absolutely astonished if you got less than a foot of snow. Shocked. Appreciate you, Tommy. Let's see. Middle of nowhere, New Jersey. Please. 18 feet. Flemington, New Jersey. Again, I'm trying to answer questions. Okay, you know what? All right, speed round over. Because 90% of people are asking about towns that I've never heard of and not listening to me when I tell you to give me an area of the state it's in if it's a small town or the distance from a major city. So we're going to end the speed round because I want to answer your questions and I can't answer them. Now I'll look some of these places up that I'm not sure of so I can give you some more specifics, but I do want to also get into some model updates here in a second. Central New Jersey looks to be a great spot to be. Someone just asked about Central New Jersey. Yeah, I mean, Central New Jersey is crazy. You look at some of the expected. You're almost expected 2 feet of snow in Central New Jersey with 3 feet as a high end. When the low deepens, will the storm slow down? No, the higher latitude it gets, the quicker it's going to speed up. That's just how. It's because the Earth is rotating. That's how the Coriolis effect works. The Earth is wider at the equator than it is at the poles, and because of that, storms move. As they move north, they keep their momentum that they had at the equator, and that momentum is much faster as you move north into the higher latitudes because it's a smaller radius. So storms tend to, as they move to the north, speed up. I feel like I explained that in a horrible way, but that's what happens. They speed up as they move north. It's the deepening of the low. The deepening of the low can have a little bit of a drag on it. I don't think a significant drag in this case. No. If the Earth was flat, weather would be impossible. Weather is not possible on a flat plane, because the reason we get weather. By the way, quick science lesson: the reason we get weather is we get cold air and warm air boundaries running into each other. How does that happen? Well, that happens on a ball because you have your warm tropical air moving away from the center, from the equator, and your cold air moving away from the poles. The same thing as if you're sitting in the middle of one of those things on a playground that spins really quickly, if you're sitting in the middle of it and you're not holding onto something, your body's going to be thrown to the outside. If you're sitting on something rotating, it's going to be thrown to the outside. Cold air and warm air is thrown away from the equator and the poles, and it smashes together in the mid-latitudes, and that's why we have weather. That creates temperature and pressure gradients, which creates wind, which creates lift. That doesn't happen on a flat Earth. Why? Because without the rotation, without the centrifugal force, with no Coriolis effect like we have, you're going to have stationary boundaries of air. Weather's impossible on a flat Earth. I know flat earthers have a way of explaining weather. It still doesn't make sense. It's not, weather wouldn't be possible if we were sitting on flat, if where Earth was flat. No weather. We'd have no weather. Literally zero weather. Tina, I appreciate you. Southern Connecticut. Unless, you know, everything is engineered. Okay. Could Philly, yeah, I highly doubt that. Could Philly be in the red? I wouldn't pay attention if we're talking about like over here. I wouldn't pay attention too much of like where the red, like if you're on the border here. Listen, Philly, expect at 16.5 inches from the National Weather Service again, with a high end of 30 inches. Blockbuster nor'easter. Saskatchewan Valley, Lancaster. Saskatchewan. Let me actually look at something right here real quick. Saskatchewan Valley, Lancaster. Let me do this. Can I look at... Let's do this real quick. I think we talked about Lancaster earlier. Lancaster's not looking too bad. We'll call it 16 inches expected, 28 inches on the high end. Again, this seems like it's unrealistic, but I think a lot of this is pretty realistic. Susquehanna. It's not Saskatchewan. Oh, Susquehanna. Susquehanna. I knew that. I was just trolling you guys. How about Frederick, Maryland? Wondering about the expected snow totals. Yes, Frederick. We looked at that earlier. Oh, there's Fredericksburg. Is Frederick different than Fredericksburg? Is there also a Frederick, Maryland? No, there is. There is a Frederick, Maryland. Let's take a look at the latest from the National Weather Service for Frederick, Maryland. 4 inches expected, 11 inches high end. I'd say 6 inches expected, 13 inches high end. There you go. Frederick, a suburb. Fredericksburg. Is Frederick? Yeah, it's not even close to Frederick. It's not even... Where's Fredericksburg? Down here? Yeah, not even close. Do you think the Canadians are right to tick east? $2 super chat from Santino. I don't really care what the globals say at this point. I'm watching the short ranges and the national blend. I'll take a look at it, though. All right, so there's the new Canadian, and there's the old Canadian. I mean, again, I don't know. We shouldn't be looking at a global with a storm that's going to be dumping snow within the next 12 hours, the next 8 hours. We should be taking a look at our short ranges. So let's go back into the HRRR. And let's look at this. HRRR 3K. Total Kuchera. Let's compare the 00Z to the... I appreciate you, though, Santino. It's something to note. I wouldn't worry about it, though. All right, let me go to the 00Z here. I wouldn't worry at all. Hold up. This isn't loading correctly. Get me into the 00Z, please. Let's load out. Let's take a look at the 06Z. Oh, crap. It's not going to give me the 06Z right now. Or the 18Z. I mean, this is the 00Z. Jeez. Did I take a look at the 00Z HRRR? Holy smokes. Holy. Hold up. One second. I need to go into a city here. Look at the latest HRRR. Let me change my screen for you guys. Listen, I don't know why it keeps turning on. It's not my fault. Okay, here we go. What is happening here? This is a 00ZH Incredible. 22 inches, 21 inches in the Philly. I'm probably overdoing it, guys, but this is weird to me, too. 32 inches up here. Something's going on with the HRRR here. Again, chat, do you think the HRRR is on something, or do you think it's on to something? Tell me. Do you think the HRRR is on something, or is it on to something? I need to know right now. Right now. Don't worry about the euro at this time frame, but we will look at the new euro that comes out in 40 minutes. We will. On something, on something. Someone said on. Sam said on to something. Both. It's on something and on to something. I guess it could be both. Most people are saying on something. yeah. I don't know. Oh my gosh. Tony, $2 super chat. I appreciate you. I got you. I got you. Newport News right now. Newport News right now, expect it, is around a ½ inch to an inch with the high end of 4. Unfortunately, I'm going to say, yeah, that's probably what I would agree with. Yeah. Yeah, this new HRRR is pretty crazy. I haven't taken a look. I don't know if I've taken a look at the new NAM. Incredible. Like, I don't know. The NAM shows the same thing. They never agree like this. The NAM has been underdoing snowstorms all season. This is insane. God, I wish I could teleport to central New Jersey or Long Island. Or anywhere out here. Honestly, anywhere along I-95. Yeah, this is the NAM. It shows the same exact thing as the HRRR, our 2K and 3K, 2 and 3 kilometer models. 3 feet of snow. I don't know. This is just... This is getting out of control. This is getting out of control. Here's the Canadian short range, by the way. You know, way less than the others. Way less than the others. Still putting 2 feet of snow. The lowest short range putting 2 feet of snow in New Jersey. Let's take a look at the latest from the National Weather Service. We gotta get this up here. Is this this isn't? Oh no, that's okay. Wait, is this loaded all the way? Oh no. Okay, I was gonna say what. There's the latest from the National Weather Service. And we'll pull up. We'll pull back a little bit. So. Can you show us what the high end looks like on the? Oh yeah. Actually, I don't think I've actually shown you guys that. This is the high end from the National Weather Service. Hold on to your chairs because I don't want you to fall out when I show you this. By the way, just so you guys understand the colors, because I think my head's in the way, I'll move my head over. Just so you guys understand the colors, in case you can't see it properly. This red, if you're in, I gotta zoom in. And let me do this. Just so you guys understand, this is our 18-inch mark. This is the high end, so this is you have to have a really good day. If you're in there, that's 18, a foot and a half of snow on the high end. And if you're in here, or here, or here, okay. If you're in here, I should have included the cape. Let's go back. If you're in here, that's 2 feet of snow on the high end. And if you're in here or here, we're talking about 3 feet. Okay? Well, this is high end. We're going to say 1.5 feet. Okay? 2 feet. Okay? 3 feet. This is the high end. From the National Weather Service. When's the last time you guys saw that? Not from the National Weather Service. I've only ever seen that from the GFS a week out. 10 days out. 96, yeah. If we get the high ends, we could break all the records, you know? Yeah, I hope too many people didn't get injured from falling out of their chairs when I pulled that up. I'm sorry. Don't sue. Yeah. I know, but then you go back to expected amounts. Like a measly... Oh, my God. The expected is so disappointing now. Just 2 feet of snow in here. Just 2 feet. Just a foot and a half of snow in here. Just a foot of snow out here. Right? The expected looks disappointing now. Even though it's ridiculous still. Biggest storm of the year? That's an understatement, sir. That's the understatement of the stream. Yeah, biggest storm of, I mean, for a lot of these areas out here, it's going to be the biggest storm of the decade. When was the 2016 blizzard? Do you guys know the date? Does anyone know the date of the 2016 blizzard? I want to see if this is actually over 10 years. I think it was in January 26th. So, yes. This is probably, I would say there's a good chance this is the biggest storm in the decade. Biggest winter storm of the decade for this area. What's March look like weather-wise? The Climate Prediction Center thinks warm for this area. I don't think so. I think it's going to be cold. And I think you get some more shots of snow. I don't think you get another big blockbuster snowstorm in March, but I think maybe you guys get another 5 to 8 inches out mid-Atlantic and New England coast. January 22nd to 24th? Okay. Same thing. Same thing. Craziness. Got the Euro coming out in a little bit. Just under an hour, 55 minutes about. How's Albany, New York looking? Not too shabby. A nice light little 5-6 inches maybe. Your high end's probably up there around 10. 15 inches high end Albany. Not too bad. Thought about South Jersey schools for Monday, Tuesday. I would not expect kids to go to school. Listen, I don't know. There's going to be parts of New Jersey where schools close for a week. South Jersey, maybe. I mean, I'd probably say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. See, it could be closed if we get what we think. If we get the expected from the National Weather Service. Long Island's getting slammed? Correct. Is Levittown, PA under a blizzard warning? Not technically, but only because of how like the county boundaries work. It's pretty. It should be. I actually pointed this out earlier. Okay, you've got a blizzard warning. Here's Levittown. You got a blizzard warning here, and you've got a blizzard warning here. I lived in Levittown. It took me 5 minutes to get into Trenton. The only reason you know the blizzard warning is because we could see blizzard conditions out here, but the majority of the county isn't expected to see it. But yeah, I mean, you're just as much in a blizzard warning as Trenton is. And Trenton is actually in a blizzard warning. You're just as much in a blizzard warning as Trenton is. Atlanta, mountains of snow. Mountains. No severe weather down there right now, right? Okay, no, good. Good. Guys, can you give me 1 second and I'll be right back? My be right back thing. I think I have a be right back. Where are we? Okay. All right. I'll be right back. Ow, my foot. Hey, everyone behave while I'm gone. Mods, tell me if someone doesn't behave. I'll be right back. Hey guys, I'm back. I was just spying on you guys, making sure everyone was behaving while you thought I was gone, you know? But I'm back. Mods, how was everyone? Were they good? Or do I need to end stream? I actually prefer, I'm a snow lover, and I prefer not to be in a blizzard. Again, because blizzards can make your snow totals look less because they blow snow into mounds of snow instead of evenly dispersed. But with this heavy of snowfall, there's still going to be tons of snow everywhere, regardless of the wind. I mean, when it's this heavy. You know what I mean? 22 new followers on TikTok. I appreciate you guys. 100 watching on YouTube. Let's go. Let's go. How can I pull that website up? Probabilistic Precipitation Portal. It's one of my favorite things to say. Probabilistic Precipitation Portal. Well, not this one. This is WeatherWise. Weather Bell. Sorry. You got to pay for it. But you can pay for it. But a good one to pull up. Probabilistic Precipitation Portal. Probabilistic Precipitation Portal. Pull it up. Give you snow totals. All right. From the National Weather Service. Nassau County. Nassau County, New York. Nassau County. Long Island. Yeah. 18 plus inches. Expect it. Maybe you get 2 feet. Local weather station said 9 inches in... Oh, my God. Oh, there's no way. There's no way the local news station is telling you only 9 inches into Philly. I'm not saying that's impossible, but that's a low end. I don't know why they're giving you your low end expectations. I don't know why. I just realized, where the heck is my phone? I've been down here without my phone this whole time. Guess I've been distracted. I was about to call my friend who lives in Philly. What the? No, don't expect that. Don't expect that. Don't expect 9 inches into Philly. Expect. You're expected from the National Weather Service is over 16 inches. Yeah, but like I said earlier, a lot of local news, they're not going to give you what they think because people are going to freak out at them if they don't get that amount of snow. But you shouldn't tell someone they're going to get 9 inches if you're expected as 10 inches more than that, because that could really screw some people over as well. You know, whatever. It's every single snowstorm we've had up here in Minneapolis, the local news has way underdone it. The local news said we were going to get 1 to 2 inches on Wednesday here. Guess how much we got? 8 inches. 8 inches. They were 8 inches. Not 1 to 2. We got 8 inches. Wasn't hard to see. RW, I appreciate you. Cleveland, Ohio. All right, you know what I want to do? We've been going over snow totals a lot. We're going to get some more updates here in a second. Cleveland, Ohio, over the next 72 hours is expected 6 inches of snow with 7 on the high end. 6 inches expected, 7 on the high end. So 6 expected, 7 on the high end. What we're going to do right now is see what type of... No, what we're going to do right now, actually, because I haven't done this in a while, is we're going to go... We're going to take a little bit of a look-see. We're going to take a little bit of a look-see through my X/Twitter. It's just weather stuff all over the place. And there's a lot of good information on here. Let me see something real quick. Okay. Let me see. Okay. All right. 1 second. Only 3 to 4 inches of snow for Long Island. Blizzard is going to bust. I think this is in... Is this in feet? Yeah, that's not going to happen. Okay. There's max velocity. This has the potential to be high end. Every storm has potential to be the high end max. But yeah, I see what he's saying. Probably better than normal potential. I agree. Okay. 50 plus inches on the NAM. What NAM run is that? Cut it in half and this storm is historic. What NAM run? Guys, could someone confirm this? Did a NAM run show 50 plus inches of snow? Yep, low pressure bomb out and rapidly intensify. Look at this. Look at this. Look at the low dropping. That is actually incredible. Is that the NAM 3 kilometer that was showing that? Okay, wait. Okay, you know what? Let's take a look. If I had to choose anywhere to be for this storm. Yeah, I mean, well, right there. That's where I'd be. That's where I'd be. If I wanted to have the craziest experience of my life in this storm, I'd be there. Is anyone here? This is where I'd be. Is anyone here? Is anyone here in chat? Yeah, you are where I want to be. If I was chasing this thing, I am hyper jealous of you guys. Someone said I'm close. Close enough. $5 super chat from Kev. Kev, that's where I'd be. That's where I'd be, Kev. Although, look, this is a great spot to be. This is a great spot to be. There's a lot of great spots. It's really good everywhere, but, you know. So they were talking about the NAM 3 kilometer. What were they talking about when we just saw that? What were they looking at? This is the NAM 3K. I'm not seeing that anywhere. What? NAM 3 kilometer. 1 hour snow. Oh, that's 1 hour snow. Oh, hold up. That's 1 hour snow. Oh my God. I just realized. Oh my God. Oh, I just realized what they were showing. I just realized. Okay, just only he's trolling. He said only 3 to 4 inches of snow. I didn't realize they were looking at the 1 hour snowfall map. He said only 3 to 4 inches of snow for Long Island. Blizzard's about to bust. That's the snowfall rate. I didn't realize they were looking at the snowfall rate. I'm an idiot. I don't think, again, I think 3 max. I don't think we're gonna hit 4. This is the snowfall rate, which confirms why. There you go. There you go. I told you guys where I want it to be, and when we just looked at this, there's the highest rate of snowfall. Case closed. Case closed. Case closed. Did we get a higher rate somewhere else? Okay, we do get a 3.9 right here. What is that, around Tom's River? And we get a 3.8 central to eastern Long Island. I need you guys to realize. Do you understand what 4-inch an hour snow? 4-inch an hour snow means? Well, okay, let's look at this. They would have over 3-inch an hour snow for 1, 2, 3, almost 4 hours straight. That is accumulating. What this model is suggesting, the NAM 3K, is portions of central New Jersey. Hold on here with me. I'm doing math in my head. Portions of central New Jersey could accumulate over, we'll call it close to 15 inches of snow in 4 hours. Almost a foot and a half of snow in 4 hours. It's going to be snowing here for 12 to 18 hours. It's not normal. We'll see. That's crazy by the NAM 3K. That's crazy by the NAM 3K. But again, this is a completely crazy storm, so I'm fine with it. Holy crap. Matt, I appreciate that. Happy weekend. I appreciate you. Home is Callie. What's going on? IRW Dina, what's going on? Yeah, Nick, I know you guys were probably yelling at me in chat. I didn't realize I was looking at inches per hour for some reason. I was like, what? Check the NAM 32 kilometer. Check the NAM 12K. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just having so much fun looking at some of the most insane snow I've ever seen in my lifetime of doing this stuff. Okay, so cities. Let's get a little bit closer here. We're gonna look at. Oh, I'm in states. There we go. Oh, the NAM 12K isn't going to do that for me. That's fine. So we're seeing almost 50 inches in the central New Jersey here. Highly doubt that. That would be an all-time. That would shatter records. The NAM 12K is doing crazy. That's the 00Z NAM 12K. Unbelievable. What's the trend? The trend is up. Yeah, the NAM 12K went from 32 inches in central New Jersey to almost 45. Did the NAM 3K do that as well? Don't expect this much snow, guys. I'm just showing you. The NAM 3K also trended up in snow. It went from about 28 inches. I'm using central New Jersey as a gauge because it's kind of the center of the system, of the snow to the north, the snow to the south. I'm using it as a gauge. I'm not just looking at center New Jersey. If center New Jersey is ramping up, a lot of people are going to ramp up their snow too. So the old run, NAM 3K, 28 inches into central New Jersey, 34 inches on the new run. So now it does shift a little bit to the north and east. So everyone, I mean, this is the Rufus. The Rufus has been so far east the whole time. No way the Rufus came back west too. The Rufus decided to. There, the Rufus came back west too. Unbelievable. Everything is trending snow up. Everything is trending snow up. The National Weather Service is probably going to push their expected totals up for everyone again. They're probably going to do it again. Probably. Wow. New national blend is loading. New York City area, yeah, I mean, you're going to try to take a run at 2 feet of snow. The Rufus Doofus. The Doofus Rufus? Which way does it go? You're about to build a house. Wait. Oh, yeah. Listen. This is wild stuff. Remember, though, schools, there's going to be school closings. Plan to work from home if you can. Don't be on the streets in this stuff. What is 2 feet of snow? Not that a lot of you won't be able to be on the streets Monday and Tuesday, so you won't have a choice. What's 2 feet of snow look like? About 24 inches snow. Yeah, Philly, again, I'm expecting, actually, the National Weather Service might even put Philly's totals up a little bit more than they expect it. Right now, Philly's still expected about 16 inches, but 29 inches on the high end. Yeah, I mean, power outages. We're going to probably see millions of people without power, which is bad because it's going to be cold and snowy, but Brett Keller, Connor, you called it at least one nor'easter. Thank you. I said I was highly convinced. What did I say? Like 80, 90% that we get the big boy the big daddy nor'easter this year. But I did say I think we'll get 2. I don't know if we're gonna get a second. I will say that last storm was a good snowstorm for the Mid-Atlantic. It wasn't a nor'easter, but it tried to be. It tried really hard to be a nor'easter. Yeah, Manhattan, the National Weather Service for you guys right now is expecting 17 inches of snow, over 1.5 feet of snow, with the potential to push 30 inches. Matt, I appreciate that. Appreciate that, Matt. Where's Warwick, New York? Oh, is that up there in like northern New Jersey? Yeah, 2 feet of snow is what the National Blend thinks. I'm guessing we got some The storm's starting to crank up already, guys. We've got some, let's see what the National Weather Service thinks about that up there. We're talking about 16 inches expected, close to 29 inches on the high end. Joel, I appreciate the sub. I appreciate the sub. What's the lowest expected for Tom's River? It's going to be something stupid. I wouldn't even look at the lowest for Tom's River. Although it's 2 inches. 2 inches is your low end for Tom's River. That's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I don't know why they put low ends like that. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. How are you going to tell me that Tom's River, New Jersey could get 2 inches or 3 feet? Because your high end is 3 feet. Is any of this actually going to happen or not? Let me tell you guys what is guaranteed to happen. Here's what's guaranteed to happen. We're going to see bigger snow totals in some area. This is guaranteed. What could happen is much crazier. What's guaranteed to happen is you're gonna get 5-foot drift, Santino. I think I appreciate that $2 super chat, Santino. Here's what's guaranteed to happen: areas around the I-95 corridor are gonna see their heaviest snowfall that they've seen in a decade. I guarantee you, we're gonna see heavier. We're gonna see bigger snowfall across portions of the Mid-Atlantic and coastal New England than we've seen in 10 years. That's guaranteed to happen. But I'm not saying everyone's going to break records up and down the coast here. I'm talking about higher than we've seen in 10 years, because 2016 was a huge blizzard. What could happen, that's not like super far out there anymore. I'd even give it like a 25% chance of happening, like a quarter chance of happening. This is a top 3 snowstorm in history for the Northeast, in history, all-time recorded history. I think, and I'll give you like a 5% chance that this is the biggest snowstorm ever for the Northeast ever. Not a topic, but what's guaranteed to happen is at least a decade, and I think we could try to set records. Yeah. Almost 150 viewers over on YouTube. Let's go. Listen, some big updates are coming out here soon. Again, I hate looking at globals. The only global short range I'll look at when it comes out is the Euro, because the Euro weirdly does good at the short range sometime. The new Euro comes out in about 36 minutes, and we have all of our OOZs coming out. So we're going to get into that. Let me take a look. I like keeping my Connor's Climate Corner X up in the corner of my screen because it's all weather related, and there's usually some pretty interesting things on it. Oh my God, no. Now it's all old. Okay, everyone's posting the 12K NAM that puts 50 inches of snow into New Jersey. The 12K NAM puts 30 inches into New York City. 30 inches into Philadelphia on the 12K NAM. Just stop it. I almost want to say that's realistic, but I'm not going to get too crazy yet. Okay. Yeah, the rate of snow is insane. I mean, Philly could see 2.5 inch an hour rate of snow. Wild. Wow. Oh my gosh. Sorry, I'm looking at something off screen. All right. Virginia Beach. Right now, you guys are expected to get 1 inch of snow with 4 inches on the high end. Yeah, I think it's realistic. Philadelphia, I know your local news is telling you like 9 inches. I will be absolutely shocked if you guys get under a foot of snow. I definitely think you guys could easily push over 14 inches. Yeah. Santino, what's poppin'? Jeff said, I do have to say the intro videos you have are so elite. I appreciate that. I'm trying to make more. The fish finally get the rain shield, yeah. Hudson County, New Jersey. Where is that again? Let's look at some of this. Berlin, Maryland. Don't know where that is. How much to let my mom know? Let's take a look. Berlin, Maryland. Berlin, Maryland. Around Ocean City. Let's see. Right now, 9 inches of snow is expected into Berlin, Maryland. There is a small chance you guys could try to push 2 feet of snow. That's your high end. Let them cook. Appreciate you, B. She's 74 years old. Yeah, tell her close to a foot is expected, but she could see up to 2 feet. Trenton, New Jersey. You guys are expected to receive 18 inches of snow with 29 inches on as your high end. Coach K says, I live in Florida. I grew up in Florida. Southeastern PA, we're expecting over a foot of snow. Pretty easily. Yeah, Philadelphia, I've answered that question a lot. 14 inches, I think, is easy to clear in Philadelphia. Is the NWS underestimating? I actually am surprised. I think the NWS is doing a very good job this time. I think there's a lot of times where I think they underestimate, but I think it's doing a pretty good job here. Right, we're talking about 2 feet is possible here. We'll call this right now in the expected. We'll call this 1.5 to 2 feet. Okay. We'll call this 9 inches to 1.5 feet. The closer you are to your 1.5 to 2 feet in here, the higher it's going to be, you know, and then we get out here. We're talking more of like 5 to 9 inches. That's how the NWS sees it right now. I'm pretty okay with that. I think we could get a little bit more in Maryland, though. I told you guys that. This is the expected, though. The high ends could blow this out of the water. The high ends could blow this out of the water. Again, I'll show you just for fun. If you end up getting lucky and getting your high ends, okay, if you end up getting lucky and getting your high ends, we are talking, and I'm not lying, let's start here. We're talking 2.5 feet. This second section, 2 feet. $1.5 feet. 1 foot. That's our high ends. Sorry. Again, we got to do this. Pockets of 3 feet. That's the high end. QPF NAM 3K. Yeah. Look at this. Almost 2.5. Oh my God. See, this is what's big for Philly. 2.25 inches of precipitable water at a 10-to-1 ratio, which is what you're going to be close to. That's 2 feet of snow. That's 2 feet of snow. If you start accumulating quick enough in Philly, that's 2 feet of snow. That's the high end. A little bit of this is going to be rain. A little bit of that precipitable water is going to be rain. Again, this area out here, we're talking almost 2.5 inches of precipitable water. That's 30 plus inches of snow. Depends how quickly you transition over. The precipitable water down here is crazy, but again, some of this could be rain on the front end. You know what area is not really going to be rain at all? And I think this is interesting from the NAM 3K. is this. 2 to 2.5 inches of precipitable water. You're clearing 2 feet, 2.5 feet. And I don't think much of that is rain, if any, is rainfall. I think it's all snow. The NAM 3K is putting a big bullseye on eastern Massachusetts. I'm 20 minutes southwest. It's so hard to know what we'll get. Yeah, there's a big issue with... The big issue with DC is all the rain on the front end, how quickly you transition, how quickly it starts to accumulate. I've analyzed it a lot. You're going to have a period of 1 to 2 inch, of over an inch an hour rate of snow. It's just going to start late, and it's not going to last as long as a lot of these other areas. I do think, though, the National Weather Service may be underestimating DC and even to the southwest of DC, saying 2 to 3 inches is expected. I push mine up to 4 to 5. Probably 3 to 5. But I don't think it's like crazy if you end up getting close to a half foot of snow around that area. Who's at risk for 3 feet? The high end? From what we've been seeing, the best areas are likely going to be this area in here. I actually think Long Island. I'm just going to tell you right now, if someone gets 3 feet, I like Long Island too. We'll include Long Island. There's a chance we start to get a little bit of, in my opinion, dry air injection as it pushes up to the northeast. So I'm still kind of confused about eastern Massachusetts, even though like what we just looked at with the NAM 3K, I'd actually have higher confidence here than up here. We'll have to see what happens with that. Let's see. This is the new, yes. Is it? Yeah. Because this was the 00Z. Oh, the new, oh yeah. I just realized we were looking at the new national blend. Yeah. Yeah, this is the new national blend. And you guys want to see what the trend is? Up. The new national blend went from 17 inches in Philly to 20. Went from 21 inches in New York City to 22. Went from 23.5 inches on Long Island to over 24. Went from... we trended up slightly in Boston. We'll say 22 to 24. Put a little bit more into D.C. and the surrounding areas. Pushed it up maybe from around 3 to 4 to 4 to 5. Obviously, central New Jersey, we're trending up from 26 inches to almost 30. Northern Jersey, a trend up. Lehigh Valley, a trend up. Scranton area, trend up. Hudson Valley, slight trend down, but not really. No, Hudson Valley is still a trend up. Most people trended up with this. Latest national blend. Again, this is our conservative model that's still showing close to 2 feet across the board. I-95 corridor. Yeah. State College, PA, and when is this starting? Yeah, I can go over the timing again. I'll probably get off here in a little bit. I got to wake up early. Obviously, I want to make a video. And I got to stream tomorrow night. State College right now. State College right now is expecting 4 inches of snow at 9 inches on the high end. Could end up with a little more than that 4. I think I said at 5, 6 should be expected because I think we have a surface low that could put a little bit more snow in a State College than what's being expected right now. Let's take a look at the latest HRRR for our timing here. All right. Here we go. Actually, you know what? We'll do it on here. Okay. Here's the latest timing. Is this my 00Z? Yeah. Here's the latest timing. Starts to get really messy as we get into tomorrow morning. This is 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. Rain, heavy snow, moderate snow. This is right here. I appreciate that, Squishy. Thank you, Jay. I appreciate you. This is at around 8 a.m. Let's get to midday. Okay, this is midday, around 12 p.m. Still a mix and raining. The portions of northern Virginia, Maryland, Philadelphia, central to southern New Jersey. Starting to get heavier snow up here. Two portions of PA. Obviously, we've got some decent light to moderate snow through portions of Ohio, central to western PA, upstate New York. Let's push forward to about 3 to 4 p.m. As we get into around 4 p.m., 5 p.m., that's your transition time. At least right now, it looks like that's your transition time tomorrow. Middle to late afternoon, this all turns into heavy snowfall. Jersey, eastern PA, Maryland starts to turn to heavy snowfall, maybe a little bit out here in Virginia. We start to get into heavy snowfall or moderate snowfall into Long Island and then up there towards Connecticut. Let's push out a little bit further here. This is as we get into around 8 p.m. Now we're getting inch plus an hour snow through this entire area here. This is getting really serious, and we're getting strong winds along the coast that are beginning to move inshore. And we're starting to get snow up there towards Boston. Let's get towards midnight tomorrow. Here's midnight tomorrow. Insane winds through this region. Very heavy snowfall in this region here. And then let's push out a little bit further. All right, so that's midnight. Now let's get towards about 6 a.m. on Monday. And this is when it starts to get real serious. Hurricane force gusts for Long Island, portions of Connecticut, maybe southeastern Connecticut, Rhode Island, eastern Massachusetts. And this is when we could see that 3-inch an hour snow across portions of Long Island. And then we push into midday, early afternoon on Monday. And our snow's starting to let up down here, Philly into Maryland, but we're getting still heavy snowfall into northern Jersey, Long Island, and up here along the New England coast. And then as we push through the rest of Monday, the snow starts to let up, but we're still whipping snow or dumping snow and strong winds pushing into the evening hours up there in Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, coastal Maine. That's your timing. So, listen. I got to get up. I got to make a video early. And let me actually... And I got to stream more tomorrow. So I'm going to get off now. I know people are asking for the Euro. The Euro doesn't matter as much right now as it did the last couple of days. It's global. We have all our short ranges in, and all our short ranges are calling for a potentially historic... it's going to be historic for some people. It's guaranteed. But absolute monster nor'easter bomb cyclone. We're going to watch it play out. New video update with snow totals tomorrow in the morning from me. I'll be streaming this event as it starts tomorrow night. We'll be talking about it. I'll be live. I appreciate all of you. Thank you. Seriously, I appreciate all the support. Thank you to anyone who gifted. Thank you to anyone who super chatted. Of course, I always appreciate you guys. Followed, subbed, was in here just engaging. Mods, you're amazing as always. I'll be back on tomorrow. I'll be posting in the morning. I'll be posting in my Discord tomorrow. And don't forget, if you want to look at all these snow maps we look at and all the information I talk about on stream, you can join my Discord. All this information and all the snow maps and all the latest snow details are all posted in my Discord. It's completely free to join. It's in the description of any single one of my YouTube videos. Just go to one of my YouTube videos, not live streams, not shorts. Any one of my YouTube videos, go to the description. My Discord's completely free to join. Connor's Climate Corner. Tons of weather enthusiasts in there, over 600. And yeah, all the information you need updated every single day. Not just snow, severe weather, hurricanes, everything. Everything's in there. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate all the support. I'll be back on tomorrow. Everyone have a fantastic night. I seriously really appreciate you guys.